Greetings, Opals Libraries. In this tutorial, I'll be covering Inventory Part 2, the entire collection. If you'd like to see an inventory done by location, that is, if you have locations set up in your library, please refer to Inventory Part 1 by Location 2026. Both videos are on our YouTube channel. I will also be covering the HitFile Manager tool in this clip, which is a tool that you can use to scan your barcodes into files and save them to process in inventory. Before I continue, if you have any questions or would like tech support, please call 877-331-1022 and ask for tech support, or email support@opalsinfo.net. Let's continue with the HitFile Manager tool. Admin, Reports and Tools, the Tools section, HitFile Manager. You can scan barcodes into the HitFile Manager. Your scanner should click the OK key. Once you're scanning the barcodes in, you'll see they'll all line up here at the bottom. You can save these to a file, and I recommend creating a new folder on your desktop, something like Spring Inventory 2026, and place all your files in that folder for easy access to process in the inventory module. If you scan a file, it's a good idea to name the file. Say you scan the 100s in your library. Then you save the file calling it the 100s Inventory 26, whatever you like. If you haven't finished a file and you're going to continue the next day, you can save the file and then the next day open the file by clicking Open File and then add additional barcodes to the file and then resave it. I don't recommend scanning barcodes live into the inventory module. I'll show that in a moment. It's always best to save your files for safekeeping in case anything were to go wrong, and you can rerun the files as needed. Let's run inventory. Admin, Inventory. If you have an old inventory file, if it's a year, 2, 3 years old, you don't need it. The library's changed too much since the old file. You don't really need it. You can just close it, or you can delete it. You can't have two files open at the same time. In this case, I'm going to delete this inventory file or inventory process. There we go. Okay, I'm going to run a new inventory on the entire collection. I'll click New Inventory. And I am not running it by location specifically, where these are different locations in my library. And by the way, you'll know you have locations in your library on your home page. If you see the location option and various locations here, you have locations set up. We're going to run this inventory on the entire collection, so the entire collection. I'm not doing the professional collection in this case, or textbooks. I'm just doing G, general collection. Please note that your item types may be slightly different than mine, and just pay attention to what you're going to run against. I'm not doing journals, I'm just doing books. I'm unchecking journals. If you're doing the entire collection in all media format types, click each one appropriately so that it'll be included in your inventory. I mentioned earlier, do not scan barcodes manually in. In other words, don't check here and start scanning barcodes. You can. I don't recommend it. If anything goes wrong and you scan 500, 600, 700 barcodes and something goes wrong, you've lost them all and you have no backup. It's always best to check File and pull up the files from your HitFile Manager or whatever tool you use to create a .txt file, which are required for inventory. You can't use a CSV, you can't use an Excel, a Google Doc. It has to be a .txt. All right, let's get my file for the entire collection. I'll click Browse. I'm going to my inventory folder, Spring 2026. There's the entire collection. I'll click Open, and here it is. I'm going to add this to this inventory process. It'll take just a minute. We see that I've added the entire collection. Here's the name of the file. 5,468 barcodes. They're on the far right here. Now I'm going to click Do Inventory and process the inventory. I'm clicking Do Inventory. Here we are. I found that I have 50 items missing, not scanned. Let's have a look. View Edit. These are showing items that I didn't scan in this entire inventory process. I can go to the bottom if I'm sure they're missing and mark all as missing. Or I could mark selected as missing. Or I could, if I know I have this book in a back room and I forgot about it, I could remove that selected item from the missing list. Or you can print selected items or print all and check the shelves just to make sure that you haven't missed a shelf. Or you may have these books in a back room for some reason or on a display. So just maybe you want to print the list and think about it. I've had many sites tell me, oh, they forgot those books were in a closet, they were in the back room on a shelf, whatever. It's a good idea to make sure they are missing and that you didn't just forget to scan them. Let's go back to the inventory result. So I have 50 missing. I have one item damaged but shelved. That's telling you that you have an item that you would mark damaged and now it's on the shelf. You may want to have a look at it to make sure it's been repaired, and you should take the damaged status off the item. Here's a book that was marked damaged. I can mark it as available. I can print this and go find the book, but you'll see that it's damaged. If there's many of them, you can mark them all as available, or mark selected as available, or mark all. But again, these have an item status of damaged. Maybe they're fixed, and you can remove that status. Let's go back to the inventory result again. Lost, missing. This is telling us that one item that we scanned was previously marked lost or missing. You can mark it as available. You can mark all as available if there are many of them, or print them, go find the books and just make sure. But again, these are books that you had previously marked lost or missing, and you've scanned it, so they're really not at this time a status of lost or missing. We also have, let's see, loaned but shelved. Perhaps a patron brought their books in and shelved them and didn't take them to the circ desk to return or put them in a bin, or you return bookshelves. These items were out on loan, but you scan them. They're on the shelves. You can return selected, mark all as returned, print, go check them, pull them off the shelves, maybe find out who the patron was and ask them not to shelve their own books, something like that. Let's go back to the inventory result. You'll see that inventory just doesn't tell us what's missing. It also gives us other status and how to clean up the items a bit more. We see that we have no call number. I'm going to click View. If you have items out in your collection that don't have call numbers, the inventory module alerts you to this, and you can fix these. We could go to the bottom, and we could print them all, pull the books, and then edit each book, place a call number in, and fix them up. Back to inventory. Invalid. I have a barcode that's marked as invalid. It's got the word barcode. You may see strange characters, all different characters here. Oftentimes, when you're scanning a barcode, not often, but there are occasions where the barcode doesn't scan correctly and it's listed as invalid. This will help you find them. You can print these and go to the stacks and look them up and fix the barcodes, or rerun them with a new scan. Okay. Outside of marked media format type, I have 340. I'm going to view these. And these could be textbooks. These are ebooks. And they're outside of the what I've marked, or these are DVDs, excuse me, I'm sorry, and movies. I didn't mark those in the media type. Let's go back and have a look at that. Again, this is just for the video. I didn't really scan the collection, just so you know. But I didn't mark CDs or DVDs. I just did books. It's nice to have this show up in the event you forgot to click Blu-ray, DVD, manuscript, audiobooks, or cassettes. And it'll just tell you that you scanned them, but you didn't mark them as part of the inventory. Once again, if you need any help, please call 877-331-1022 and ask for tech support, or email support@opalsinfo.net. Thank you.